Appreciate being here. I know a lot of you, so I'm always happy to talk about how we can provide value to our businesses, whether you're Centerville, Washington Township, or the region. So that I'm really excited about that today. Also, I'm really excited about the fact that I have two good friends here, Bill Minker and Alex Kohls. I teach for the University of Oklahoma, their Economic Development Institute, as well as the International Economic Development Council and State Economic Development. And I always bring these two as part of the presentation. And when we heard about the education opportunity in April, reaching out to Alex, and I thought, well, let's get Bill, and we're going to have a great session today. And we're going to talk a lot about good resources. So just to kind of give you an overview here, what we're going to be discussing, and just a little bit about my background. I was helping the region establish a business retention program that was launched in 2001 called Business First. The problem that we had, all of these economic development organizations were calling on businesses, and they would knock on their door and say, thanks for being here. And then 3 weeks later, the chamber would call the same CEO, thanks for being here. And then 5 weeks later, you'd hear from other organizations, all with great intentions, but they were wasting the time of the CEO. So Business First was created as a business retention program that helps connect resources to companies. The program started in 2001 and has grown from 14 communities to 30 communities in the Dayton region. And it's actually gotten a lot of national recognition about helping businesses. So we're working in a lot more coordinated and systematic way because businesses don't have time to stop making the widget maker or whatever you're doing to find out where all the resources are. And that's why the program was established. In fact, 80% of jobs come from existing businesses. It's great to go after new customers, but you really have to take care of who you have and help that company grow. And that's what Business First does. It's a connector service. So we've had over 10,000 businesses. We provide connectivity for financial, which we're going to talk about tonight, workforce recruitment and training, domestic and global marketing, permitting, financial services, and like I said, over 10,000 businesses have been visited since the inception. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to provide that information on Business First, give you some examples of how we can provide value to your business, whether today or in the future. And then Alex is going to talk about specific financial programs that the SBA provides, and then we're going to wind it up with Bill Minker, who has a lot of resources that can provide help to businesses and has successfully done so through the library system. Here's the bottom line. So this is cut right to it. Businesses, sometimes every day you have opportunities, you want to go after them, and sometimes you have challenges, whether it's workforce or, cash flow, or maybe how do I hit the target market? And that can be a real challenge. So one of the things what the Business First provides in the city of Centerville, and even if you're outside the city of Centerville, you can contact us. We're not selling you anything. All we're doing is we're listening to what your need is, and then we can make that connection to your business. So we have over 100 regional resource partners that are on call to provide value to businesses in those categories that I was talking about. So think of us as like a general doctor. We're just the general doctor, and maybe you need help in finance. Well, that's where Alex can come in to play on the tools that are available, and we can make that connection for you to save time. So think of us as that general doctor trying to diagnose, what that patient needs, what your business may need, through a conversation and then making the connection. And Joey O'Brien, my colleague, he and I work together, and we're meeting with businesses every single day, talking to businesses on the phone, and we're listening and we're connecting. And I think that's the big takeaway. As far as value to the businesses, again, we don't want to trip over each other. The nice thing is we have these two gentlemen from two different organizations. They have specific kind of knowledge, right? They can help with a specific need, but they can also then contact us if they need to, that we can help your business in a more holistic way as well. And that's the value of Business First. So you can start by just contacting us, and we can make the referrals to the right resource partner. Again, these are probably 99% of our resource partners are nonprofit economic development organizations. We have the utilities, AES, Centerpoint, our building department. They are part of the resource partner. Everyone in the city of Dayton, I tell the entire staff, that you guys are all economic developers, whether you like it or not, whether you're you're working on the roads, or your police department or whatever. So that's the nice thing about Business First. We're trying to be really focused on customer service and providing value. It's real simple how it works. You place the call, and we're in the middle. We're kind of like the quarterback. We'll get a phone call from a business. We'll hear what the need is. We'll either go out and meet with the business, and then let's say that they need help with financing, okay? We will then pick up the phone and send an email to a person like Alex, and then Alex, within 24 to 48 hours, will contact the business owner here on the left and say, hey, I'm part of the Centerville Business First team, and then start delivering a service if they can help. Maybe it's passing out information. It could be making a connection to a bank, whatever it might be, and then it comes back to deliver the service. It's pretty simple. Or if it's a workforce type of a matter, where we would reach out to our workforce development team because they have on-the-job training, they have grants available for businesses, Tech Cred, which is a program that the state runs. There are a lot of different tools out there that we can help make those. So this is just a very simple example of how it goes back. Ultimately, if we meet with your business, we're accountable to you. The resource partners are accountable to us and to you. So it's very important that our resource partners are responsive. So that's Business First in a nutshell. As far as tools are concerned, we have, as part of the Regional Business Retention Program, these resources for businesses. It's online, and they have our local regional resource partners to help businesses, and they have national resource partners. So if you're a retailer and you need some help in marketing, for example, you might find some resources right there on this website. So if you're up at 2 a.m., how many of you are up at 2 a.m. running your business or worried about your business? You're like, what am I going to do? Well, go to this website. It might help you out a little bit. So that's the value of this particular website, because some websites are better than others. Now I want to get into the financial. Business First has resource partners and programs that we can connect you to. These are some examples. The SBA, Alex is going to get into the details there. In Centerville, the city, the Streetscapes grant program is a matching program for up to $10,000. So if you invest $5,000 in improving, let's pretend you have a building, you need roof or gutters or do some parking lot issues, we can match up to $5,000 in that case. So it's a good program. Economic development, that's a citywide program, and that's based on the jobs that are created and retained in the city of Centerville. So if you are planning some kind of an expansion, or in some cases, instead of saying business retention and expansion, it may be business retention and contraction, because sometimes companies shrink a little bit, but they need capital to help them stay in business. We also have programs like the tax abatement, which is for if you have a building, a property that's $200,000 and you do an improvement on that property, you could get up to 12 years of tax abatement on the improvement. And it's a case by case. So we have to look at what the project is. Every economic development deal is different. Our economic development government equity, which is run by Montgomery County, that's a program that the city would apply to Montgomery County if you're going to be doing permanent types of improvements to your real estate. And it has to be in certain industry sectors like IT and aerospace and manufacturing and so forth. So that, again, this is just kind of the whole menu of programs that are available. Some of them are not going to be relevant necessarily to you, some will be. The PACE Direct program just started 10 days ago, and if you have a building and you're going to make improvements to the building, this is a tool that can help with the financing of the improvements, and then over a 20-year to 25-year period, it depends on the deal, it's a capital type of stacking. So if you're trying to do some improvements to your building, HVAC systems, could be your lighting, anything that's associated with making your building more efficient. So that's a good new program that was just launched by Montgomery County, the Dayton-Montgomery County Port Authority, the City of Dayton. So because the county put $1 million into this program, all of your businesses in Montgomery County could be eligible for this great program. The Port Authority is another tool, and it just depends if you're going to be buying real estate and building a building. The Port Authority is simply, we don't have any major seaports here in the Dayton area, I know, but it is something that is a financing tool that businesses can tap into. And that's just kind of a case by case. This one is a really interesting one. Number 8, this is the Grow Now program. It's similar to a program that was called the Withrow program. How many here are bankers in here? Okay, good. So the bankers know about this program. I think you guys are probably in that program, I would imagine. It's an interest rate reduction program, and when we do our roundtables, ask your banks about that program. Again, case by case. So if you're financing some term debt and you get a loan, you may be eligible based on new jobs created or retained in Ohio to take advantage of that program to lower your interest rate for a short period of time. So some banks use them more than others, some don't, but it's worth having the conversation with them about it. So like I said, I put a little disclaimer on here because every project is different. Every need around here, this room, is different. The value that our Business First team can provide to your businesses is that we will listen, and then we will make the connections to help get the best types of tools to help your business be successful. And this is my contact information. The QR code will connect you. And with that, I'm going to transfer it over to our good friend Alex Kohls, who is a senior manager with the SBA and who is like Master Yoda when it comes to SBA types of programs. And then we can go ahead and have Alex do his presentation, and then we'll turn it over to Bill Minker from the library.
So my name is Alex Kohls. I'm with the Small Business Administration. What we're here to do is we're here to help people, Americans, start their business. So whether it's starting your business, growing it, expanding it, we're here to help you out. And like Erik said, we're just a cog in the machine of economic development, because I make referrals to Bill, I make referrals to Erik all the time, and vice versa. They do it to me as well. That way, we can get the help that you need. Because I'm going to talk about all our programs, but we're not the only game in town. Sometimes there are state of Ohio finance programs that work much better for your business, and that's fine, because we're just offering the options for it. So what is a small business? So a lot of people are confused about this. So we have a specific definition, and it's the federal definition of what a small business is. Essentially, it's 500 or less employees. So our definition covers, I think, about 98% of all businesses in the country are considered small by our definition. But for other programs, it may be 25 or less employees. It just depends. You would have to ask. But essentially, our programs are open to everybody. So I like to talk about our 4 C's on how we can help businesses. So it's counseling, access to capital, government contracting, and crisis. Okay, so on the counseling side, the way that we do this is we provide money to certain organizations to do the counseling on our behalf. So we provide money to small business development centers. Everybody in Ohio is within 50 miles of an SBDC. So there's one in Miami Valley SBDC located downtown Dayton, but they cover the entire Dayton region. SCORE are, for the most part, retired executives who are looking to give back. And so they volunteer their time to help mentor businesses. So it could be a specific industry. And you can go on there and they can match you up with somebody who has experience in that industry. And both organizations can provide trainings and workshops, most of the time at no cost. Dayton SCORE specializes in nonprofit development. That's a hard resource to come across. And they've been recognized nationally for their program on developing a nonprofit organization. The SBDC can help with writing your business plan. They can help you gather all the financial information you need if you're looking for capital and need to meet with a lender. They can help you put that all together. And then we also provide funding to women's business centers, veteran business outreach centers, and community navigators. And so there is a women's business center in Cincinnati that provides assistance to women-owned businesses and can help certify you as a woman-owned business. And then the Veteran Business Opportunity Centers, we're still waiting to hear if Ohio is getting a VBOC. There were a couple of organizations in the Dayton area who applied because of the accessibility of the right PAT. So if you're a veteran, that'll be a huge win for Ohio if we can get a VBOC here in the state. So moving on to the lending programs. This is a list of all the programs that we offer. The 7A loan is by far the most popular program that we have. Now, I do want to say that the SBA does not do any direct lending. What we do is we work with lenders such as credit unions, we work with traditional lenders, community banks, and they have to want to use our programs. And why would they use our programs? Well, they meet with a lot of small businesses, and they are running into businesses that are either in a risky industry. So if you're opening a restaurant, some lenders want nothing to do with restaurants. Others are happy to work with them. Your credit may not be the best, or there's something else that the banker might be a little iffy on, and you kind of fall into that gray area. What we can do is we can come in and provide a guarantee to the lender. And so we'll take on anywhere between 75 to 90% of the risk of the loan. And then the lender is more likely to loan that money to that small business or that individual. And so that's how we work with the lenders. Again, though, you have to have a good working relationship with your lender. There are lots of banks here today, but a good lender will know these various programs, our programs plus the state programs and regional or like city programs that might be available. And those might be a better fit. So talk with your lender, have that conversation with them of wanting to either start a business or expand your business, and have a conversation and see what they say. 7A loans are for working capital, up to $5 million. This is by far our most popular program. Last year alone, our district office out of Columbus, which covers 60 counties in Ohio, we helped guarantee about $750 million in our district alone. And so we do a lot of work. So you don't necessarily have to come to me to say, hey, how can I apply for an SBA loan? You would still just go to your lender, and then a lot of times they can put in the loan for themselves into our system because they have the preferred status or they've got that clearance to make that decision on their own. Our 504 program now, this is geared mainly towards real estate. So if you're looking to purchase a building for your business, then 504 is the way to go, because traditionally you have to put down 20 to 25% upfront for real estate. The 504 program, you would work with a lender You would also work with a CDC, a local CDC, and you would only be required to put down 10% as opposed to that traditional 20 to 25%. So that allows you to free up a lot of cash that you need to do to rehab the building, to make it how you want it, buy materials, whatever it is that you may need to get your business into that building. That really does free up that cash. A relatively new program that we have is our Community Advantage program. It goes up to $350,000, but it is a little less stringent on the credit requirements. Because we had found that there were certain areas of cities that may be a hub zone, like a historically underutilized business zone, that they had struggled with meeting the credit requirements. And so we've been able to work with lenders, the lending community, to kind of lower the credit requirements but also lowering the amount that they're able to borrow, but it does open access to money. So I don't know about you, but for me, $50,000 is a lot of money. And so I talk to businesses, I talk about our 7A goes up to $5 million. A lot of small businesses are like, I don't need that. I need like 10,000. I need like 50,000. Well, we developed our microloan program just for that, because sometimes lenders, but sometimes a loan 50,000 or less, they can't really make money or do much with that. And so we have an SBA microlender in the state of Ohio called ECDI. That's the letter ECDI. They're based in Columbus, but they have, I think, 6 offices around the state. Dayton is serviced out of Cincinnati, but they are looking to establish an office in Dayton. But that is what they specialize in, are those lower amount loans. And they have even less stringent credit requirements. So they've done loans $500 before. They've done loans $5,000, and they work with you as well. They provide classes so that you can not only get the money, but you can write your business plan and you can build that foundation to have a successful business. We do have other funding programs. If you know companies that are in like the construction and need bonding, we do have SBA guaranteed bonding for those companies. Innovation grants, SBIR, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of SBIR. Dayton area, because of the access to Right Pat, Dayton is one of the, has, I think, percentage-wise, has the most SBIR grants won and awarded in the country because of Right Pat. And so what those do is, when the military has goods that they're looking to commercialize or they're looking for specific technology, you can apply to be that company, to provide that technology, to commercialize whatever product they have. And the grants are significant. It's over $1.5 million in grant money. The STTR, that's more of a research-based, but again, it's the same amount of money that they can provide to help research for goods and services that the military may need. So moving on then, that's a perfect segue into contracting, our third C. So the federal government is the largest purchaser in the world, and they purchase everything. I have a former colleague who says that they purchase everything from pencils to battleships and everything in between. And so if you're looking into contracting, there is a lot of assistance available to do that. Locally, there's Apex accelerators. They can help you find the opportunities. They can help you get registered with the federal government, with state government, local government, and how to find those opportunities, and then how to be successful in getting the opportunity to contract with the government. SBA, we have a program called the 8A program. And so 23% of all federal contracts are to go to small businesses. But there are further set-asides for women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and hubs-owned businesses. And so you can get, in a 9-year window, you can get access to all those further set-asides for your business in the 8A program. They assign you a mentor company to help you through the process of that. And then by the end of the 9 years, the hope is that you are expanding and that you are well-versed in federal contracting. Currently, we are revamping the certification process. You used to have to go to different agencies to get it. It's all going to be housed under the SBA now, all of the certifications. And that should kick off on October the 1st. I would not hold your breath thinking it's going to be October 1st, but that is the goal. And then the fourth C I'd like to talk about is crisis. This is something that has really come to the forefront in our office especially, and it began with the Memorial Day tornadoes several years ago. So when a disaster is declared, a federal disaster is declared, that opens up resources to that region. So when the tornadoes hit, the president signed that, yes, declaration of an emergency declaration has been signed. Then that puts in FEMA. Everybody's familiar with FEMA. FEMA comes in and they help you survive, right? They provide water, they'll give you food, they'll provide shelter. You know, that's how they work, is they're working to help you just survive that disaster. A lot of people don't know is the SBA is on the other hand of FEMA, and we're there to help you rebuild. So we provide financing. This is the only time that we do direct lending, but we can help you rebuild your business if you were negatively affected by the disaster. So say a tornado tore down your business and you have to rebuild it. Well, we have low interest loans that can help you rebuild that business. Even if you were negatively affected but had no physical damage, so say, actually a perfect example that happened in Dayton is there was a coffee shop and in the middle of a block, but the two streets that they had accessed their coffee shop had wires down and had damage on the other one, so customers could not get to them. So because of the disaster, they were negatively affected, and we were able to provide a low interest loan to them so that they could rebuild and kind of figure out what's something else that we can do here to help our business. But then it really came to the forefront during the pandemic. So now what we used to say was the best kept secret in government, it was as the SBA. Now everybody pretty much knows who the SBA is, because during the pandemic, we helped filter out about $2 trillion into the economy over, I think, about a 3-year window. And so we helped filter out not only that much money, but that was more money than we ever guaranteed in the history of the SBA combined. And we've been around since 1953. So it was a very busy time. I'm sure I talked to a lot of people in this room, but we also were trying to help get people up and back running or help modify how they do their business.
Brief overview of the library. We've been around since 1810. We're a very busy library. The stat you should know is that we circulate about 41 items per year, and the national average is 7. So we're a very busy library, and we add about 90,000 items a year to the collection, both print, physical items, and digital. We are a 5-star library in the Library Journal Index of Public Library Service, and we are Green Business Certified. We are also a proud member of the Heart of Centerville, of Business First, as Erik mentioned, and the Dayton Chamber of Commerce. We have 4 locations. We have the Centerville Library on Spring Valley. We have the Woodburn Library on Far Hills. We have our makerspace called Creativity Commons, which is located in the Recplex of Washington Township. For now, I'll get more on that later. And then we have an administrative support building in the township over on Congress Park Drive. Our building amenities, we have meeting rooms, conference rooms, We have free Wi-Fi, computers, printers, scanners, copiers, and yes, a fax machine. People do still send faxes, and you can do that at the library. The Creativity Commons is our makerspace, and a lot of people are like, what is a makerspace? It is a collaborative workspace for making, learning, exploring. It's a studio-like environment with access to cutting-edge equipment that is not really available in other venues. So a lot of people don't have a 50-watt laser cutter in their house, but you can come to the library and use ours, and it's for free with your library card. So other things that we have 3D printers, we have a large format printer cutter. Here's some examples of some of the things local businesses and nonprofits have made in Creativity Commons. Just some examples on our large format printer. Creativity Commons was featured in the Centerville Lifestyle magazine. I do want to talk about Centerville Library. We're going to be renovating that building here. We've just gone through the design process. It was built in 1995. A lot of things have changed since then, so it is in need of a refresh. We're going to rebalance the size of our physical collections to add more patron spaces. We're going to relocate Creativity Commons from Recplex into the Centerville Library. We're going to add meeting rooms, conference rooms. It's going to be a minimum 2-year project. The building will remain open during the construction. Not like when we did Woodburn, when we shut it down completely. Centerville, during the renovation, will remain open. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, the library's great for story times and getting movies and stuff. Why do you do business thing? Why do you do things for small businesses? And the main reason is because small businesses make up 99.9% of businesses in the country. I think Alex said 98% under his definition. Under our definition, it's 99.9%. Nearly half of U.S. employees are employed by small businesses, and they add so many jobs in our community. So that's very important. It's costly to start a business, and a lot of times small businesses can't afford some of the resources that would really help them. So the library tries to provide those at low cost, no cost. So let's talk about some of those. Well, our business is information. A lot of people, when they think library, they think books. In the past, information was located in books, but now information is in all kinds of formats. So our business is information. We can provide information. We have librarians that can help you do research, whether that's competitive intelligence or market research. We can provide market research reports. We subscribe to a database that you have free access to with your library card. You can find industry reports. If you went directly to that provider, they would charge you $500 to $1,000 for that report, but you get it for free with your library card. Also, consumer demographic information. We have databases that can help you build mailing lists, whether it's business to business or direct to consumers. We have resources to help you build mailing lists. We have online and print business resources. More than 20 databases available. The figure I always like to use when I speak for Erik's classes is we spend 6 figures on business databases. So that's a lot of money that we spend on databases, so we want you to use them. So please do so. Lots of business directories, local, regional, and national. And of course, downloadable books and audiobooks. Who here uses Libby on their phone or their iPad? I have a long commute every day, so I listen to e-audiobooks on my phone through my car speakers. To find the best place to start to find the information we have is wclibrary.info/business, and that'll get you to a starting page on our website for our business information. So at this website, we have research guides, we have a small business frequently asked question page. You know, I've been doing this for 25 years, so I know the types of questions that small businesses have when they come in, and we've created a question and answer page that features a lot of those questions. We have an Ask a Librarian, which is live chat help. During regular business hours, we do have live chat help. We have a business research request form. If you have an in-depth research request that you need that's really hard to explain on phone, you can fill out our form with all the information you need, and we'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. We have a Book a Librarian service where you can book an appointment to meet one-on-one with a librarian to discuss your information needs for your business, for your personal use, whatever. It may not be me, maybe somebody from my staff. I have Kevin here is one of my librarians. He's joining me today. So you can book an appointment with a librarian. And then we offer all kinds of classes and workshops, both in our libraries and in our Makerspace Creativity Commons. And I already mentioned research databases. So that's their main website. But again, wclibrary.info/business is your best starting place for small business information.